Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on my Friday morning live stream brought to you this week. We'll talk about the price of Bitcoin. We'll talk about um, some articles about and some news surrounding Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And we'll move a little crypto around for you guys. So sorry I had to start it early this week, but I'll apologize in full here in a minute. Let's get started. All right, good morning, guys. Really sorry I'm doing the live stream early. For those of you who are joining tonight at 8, you're just kind of watching a delayed version from this morning. And the reason that is I'm going out of town and we'll be staying with relatives tonight. And the more I thought about it, the more I wasn't sure if she would have internet or not. She's the lady that I'm staying with, my wonderful Aunt Ruth. I don't know if she's got, even has Wi-Fi or not. She may have turned it off and just uses her phone for Facebook now. I don't know. So I had my laptop all ready to go, but the more I thought about it, the more I figured it might be better just to do the stream early, so I have access to my lair and my tools and my screen share for my phone and all that other good stuff. So thanks for joining. Let's jump into some of the news that's been going on. It's always weird watching myself in the past. Let's get this out of the way. Yeah. All right, let's go over here. So market cap, coin market cap, Bitcoin is up today slightly. And it had been in this lower 77,000 range, you know, the 72, 73, kind of sitting around, and everybody was waiting for a big breakout, including me. But then last week it took like this horrible dive and then kind of drug everybody else down again. But now it's back to where it was. It's almost like it never happened in a way. Let's look at the chart here on Bitcoin. Let's look at the 7-day so we can kind of get an idea of what's been going on over the last few days or the last week or so. All right, so here we go. That was that range I was talking about, the 700 range, 7,000 range, pardon me. And then we had this big dip down to 69, and then for less than a day, and then it really took a dive way down here to around 66. Some exchanges had it lower than that. Oh, and then here, I guess that was the real dip, the 65.59. I think that's about as low as I heard it. And, you know, that was pretty scary. We're all thinking that, you know, it's time for that Christmas boost and all that good stuff. And, you know, we want to buy presents for the kids. And here it takes this horrible dive. And we'll talk about the reasons for that dive. One of the reasons that's postulated for that dive. Nobody really knows what makes the market go up and down. They can take an educated guess. It's sort of like quantum mechanics, right? You deal in percentages and probabilities. You don't really know for sure exactly where anything's going. But lo and behold, it kind of jumped back up again yesterday, up into the 73 range, and then, you know, it's kind of been up and down a little bit, and here we are at 72. So we're doing good. So it's almost like, you know, this dip never happened. It's like we just got right back on track to where we were before. But, you know, c'est la vie. So I want to talk a little bit about this PLUSTOKEN scam and how people thought that it affected the market. So I think that's a really good topic of conversation because it involves a lot about the way markets work, the way cryptocurrencies work, the way Bitcoin works, and the way people can get scammed. So we're going to talk about, you know, how to avoid scams and that sort of thing. And we'll talk about what's really interesting is what the attackers or scammers or whoever you want to call them, the leaders of this scam, moved the Bitcoin around. I find that very fascinating to try to avoid detection. But basically, the long and short of it is that the drop was caused by these attackers flooding the market with their ill-gotten gains, dumping a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum onto the market. And that's what explains this drop here. So anyway, let me say hello to anybody who might be here. I know I'm a lot earlier than usual, so I don't expect the usual crowd, but I'm hoping maybe some of my other subscribers that don't normally get a chance to participate in the live stream will be around. Borislav Stolikov, hello, it's good to see you. T. Gyang, I'm the coolest, thank you. You're the coolest. Adam78 from England, hello. Block Chains, hello. Aetherium Concilium. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Good. Scott Lee is here. Good morning, Scott. Tell us what you're cooking. By golly, it's got to be something good, I'm sure. John Horsefall is here. I don't recall ever seeing you in the live stream. I love the video that predict the next top 5 coins, but no one mentions BTC in their top 5. So on the back of having some fun, now I own $1 million dime. Okay. China mining slamming BTC down to shake out US miners or not. That's a good topic. We can talk about that a little bit. Big Steve, hello. Cornelia N, hello. Parlando, good morning. And he knows Scott Lee. Eleanor Bortkevics, hello. All right. Oh, Parlando is from Belgium. That's really cool. All right. So here's this plus token thing. Now, you can watch some videos and some things about this whole plus token scam. But basically, I'll just try to put it in a nutshell. I did leave a link to this article down in the description. And basically, what they were doing was taking advantage of elderly people who really didn't know that much about cryptocurrency. And most of this was taking place in China and Korea, but it was all over. But they were holding like these huge seminars. You know, you'd see all these people in folding chairs and, you know, speakers in the front, and they were talking about PLUSTOKEN, PLUSTOKEN, PLUSTOKEN. And the idea of PLUSTOKEN was, okay, cryptocurrency, right? They give all the term, they throw out all that cryptocurrency lingo, right? That a lot of these people didn't really understand, but it was surprisingly close to the truth in many ways. That's a good scam, right? So they talk about cryptocurrency and you know, how it was going to take over the market and do well, and mining and all this other stuff. And they would say, look, you got to buy Bitcoin, you got to buy Ethereum, you know, if you want to you want to get rich and all this other stuff. And then they said, but use our wallet, okay? And I'm assuming it was a phone-based wallet. There's not a lot of deep information about exactly the way they pulled this off, and I'll talk about some of the gaps too. But if you use our wallet, right, you can easily buy cryptocurrency, right? And so people were buying Bitcoin and Ethereum and EOS, and they were on exchanges and storing it in these plus token wallets. And a great feature of this wallet was that you could also buy PLUSTOKEN. And PLUSTOKEN was their native cryptocurrency. And if you bought PLUSTOKEN and held it, they would pay you a rate of return, you know, like a good rate of return, whatever they were promising, 8%, 10%, 20%. And so if you were to buy and hold PLUSTOKEN, then you would get this rate of return. Now, they were paying the rate of return in the beginning, right, to suck people in. And but this wallet that people were downloading and using on their phones, my assumption is that it was a hot wallet. They were not controlling the private keys of these cryptocurrencies. I don't think they might be, but I doubt it. Okay. So they were buying all this cryptocurrency, and not only would they talk you into using their wallet and buying this currency and paying rate of return, they would recruit you to recruit others, right? So that's a first warning sign right there. I got to respond to this real quick. Thanks, Rob. Have a good morning. All right. So whenever you're involved in any type of coin and they start telling you that, hey, if you get 10 of your friends to sign up, you'll get an additional bonus, that kind of stuff is a warning flag, a red flag. And also these cells that they were creating where they had the people at the top, all of the cells that were getting created, they were encouraging them to stay separate, right? They didn't want the other cells talking to each other and talking about that maybe this was a scam. All right, so there we go. We got it set up. Now, at some point, they stopped paying these, these percentages, these rewards. And that's when everyone kind of figured out that it was a scam, and the whole thing kind of fell apart. Another thing I'll add is that there were some cryptocurrency exchanges that actually listed this Plus token. Oh, and they would show videos of like, hey, I'm in the store and this store is going to be accepting Plus token. Here's their touch screen. It says Plus token on it. I mean, they were doing all kinds of really deceptive scams to make people think that Plus token was the next biggest paying thing like Alibaba or whatever, where, got people sucked into this thing. All right. So after everyone realized that it was a scam, it started falling apart. Now, I'm assuming that, because they weren't getting their benefits anymore, that was a sucker punch, right? But then the Plus tokens probably plunged in value, or they were worthless to begin with. Or, I don't know this, but maybe the hot wallets just went offline completely. It's not really clear. So I don't know for sure if everyone lost all of the Bitcoin and Ethereum that they were holding in these wallets, or if they just lost the Plus token and the Plus token value dove. I don't know exactly. But some people were arrested, right? 6 people were arrested behind this scam. But the interesting thing, as we go on here, and a lot of people got burned, right? A lot of honest people got burned because they got, they got enticed and they got scammed, and these people took advantage of their greed, right? Because they wanted to get rich quick. Who doesn't, right? But after these people got arrested, it became obvious as time went by that some of these guys were still at large because they were moving cryptocurrency around. So now this company that wrote this article, Chainalysis, which is one of the biggest cryptocurrency blockchain analysis firms in the world, this is a great article because they're talking about how they followed these coins around, right? And I guess I don't see the figures here. 180,000 BTC, 64,000 Ethereum. This is $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Well, if you add the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and the I believe the EOS or the OMC Go, if you add it all together, this is $1 billion worth of cryptocurrency. This is huge, right? So now they're starting to move all of this around. And so Chainalysis is tracking where these coins are going. And they're taking advantage of a few things. They're taking advantage of OTC markets, which is over-the-counter markets, which is a very casual kind of cryptocurrency exchange that's sort of off the books. And there's a lot of legitimate ones out there, but there's also a lot of shady ones out there. And then there's a lot of just outright criminal ones that know they're laundering ill-gotten gains, right? So it's a little bit tricky when you're dealing with this type of thing because, you know, it's sort of like, I don't know, you can't just outlaw everybody that wants to set up a lemonade stand on, you know, because there's a lot of legitimate ones out there, right? Just because you're a cash-based business and you're sort of operating off the books doesn't mean you're a criminal, you know. And many might argue that, you know, there's nothing wrong with that at all, and governments criminalize it because they're not getting their cut, right? So, but anyway, so the scammers were using these OTC markets to cash out. And this is where they're dumping a lot of cryptocurrency on the market. And this is causing the price of Bitcoin to fall. Now, apparently they dumped a bunch of it last week, which caused our dip, right? But they're also using mixers, all right? So they were conducted through the Wasabi wallet, which has a built-in mixer, I believe, to protect your privacy. There's nothing wrong with privacy either, right? So you can't just outlaw privacy. People expect it to a certain extent. But it's really amazing if you read this article of how they traced these funds. It has a lot to do about how Bitcoin gets moved around on the blockchain, how it will go into a mixer, how it can enter into an OTC market, that sort of thing. So it's really kind of amazing story if you guys want to check this out. I really found this a very interesting, and it's pretty technical too. So, you know, go figure. All right, and then another story that I had a chance to throw up here before we got started was the TEZOS. TEZOS is surging now because you can stake your TEZOS now. Now, you can stake it on Coinbase and KRAKEN, apparently. But I did a video on how you stake it directly from your Ledger-based wallet. And so that would, you know, we'll talk a little bit about staking and how that works. But staking is the new paradigm, right? Cardano has moved into their proof of stake blockchain. They've put out some test wallets that you can actually earn rewards. In fact, why don't I go ahead and launch mine? I'll go ahead and launch it. Hopefully I can connect, and we'll see if I've earned any rewards yet. So, you know, when we talk, and this is the Daedalus Testnet version 1 rewards wallet. When we talk about staking, when you stake your coins with a cryptocurrency exchange, it's almost like you've deposited them in a bank and you're earning interest. Very similar scenario. But a better scenario, a more modern scenario, is staking your coins directly using your own wallet and having the power to unstake at any time. That's really cool. So you can put the coins in your own wallet, and we're talking about TEZOS and Cardano. We can do both. We can put the coins in our own wallet and then stake them on the blockchain while you still control the private keys of those coins, right? You can unstake at any time. You can switch pools at any time. And, you know, if you want to sell the coins, you simply unstake and then sell them or move them out of the wallet or whatever you want to do. Now, of course, the longer you leave them staked, the more money you'll earn. But if all you're doing is hodling anyway, you know, why not stake it from within your own wallet? So that is an amazing new feature coming to many cryptocurrencies, is the ability to stake your tokens on the blockchain. And you don't have to be a node, you don't have to be running a node yourself, right? You can use your coins and let them run the test node, or, you know, the earning node or whatever. Someone else will do that. That's a 24/7 kind of server thing. But you, as a user, can stake your coins and earn real rewards on those coins. So it might take it a few minutes. I'll put it over here for a little while, and we'll check it. But I can show you the way TEZOS is working. All right. So this is Ledger Live, and I've got some TEZOS stored in my Ledger Live. Now I put that TEZOS in my wallet a week or two ago, right? And I went ahead and delegated it. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is getting back or not. I doubt it. Let's see, 33.5. I don't think I've earned any rewards on it yet. I think with the TEZOS staking, it takes a while. But as you can see here, I've delegated it. It shows my delegation. I've delegated it to stake now. And I'm not staking a lot, right? So, this is not the best example. I think if you really wanted to earn big rewards, you would take your nest egg, right? You would put it into TEZOS, and then let's say 10 grand worth of TEZOS, and then let that earn interest. And that could bring you back some real rewards. And there's no risk to you because the TEZOS is in your wallet the whole time. You're sort of letting them borrow it directly from you, but it's kind of like being able to lend someone $10 out of your own pocket. And then at any time, day or night, wherever you happen to be, be able to just reach into your pocket and collect that 10 back whenever you want it, right? That's what the delegation is like. See, if I click these three buttons here, 3 dots, I can just end my delegation right now. Of course, I might lose out on any rewards I might be earning at the time. There might be, I might not get the rewards, or I might get that small reward that I earned over that short amount of time that I staked them, but I might not get it until a few months down the road. But I might get it. I'm not exactly sure. Probably will. But, as long as it's just sitting in the wallet anyway, I might as well just leave it in there and collect rewards. So that's the beauty of staking. Really cool. So let's see what's going on, guys. EKS is here. Grand Illusion is here. That's cool. Yeah, I'm sorry I had to do the stream early today. I'm going out of town, staying with relatives. I wasn't quite sure what the internet situation was at my lovely Aunt Ruth's. So I figured, why take a chance? Just do the stream early while I'm still home with all my cool gadgets and stuff. Now, Scott brought up that there's this cryptocurrency mining issue, and that a lot of the miners are in China. Now, Bitcoin doesn't do staking. Bitcoin works on proof of work, which means that hardware has to churn away on mathematical puzzles and solve puzzles, and they use brute force guessing, right? The way the puzzles are designed, right? They're looking for a certain number, and once that number is found, then that miner will be rewarded some Bitcoin and also the transaction fees of the block that he was able to complete. So, but the idea of Bitcoin is that it should be decentralized. But if you have 51% of the mining hash power being controlled by one entity, then that entity, whatever it is, can control the blockchain and write their own, basically write their own history. But it has to be one entity. Now, just because the majority of miners are in China does not mean that there's one entity that controls all of those miners. A lot of them are probably independent. Now, but being China, we don't know. They could possibly be seized and controlled by the government. So it's a little bit worrying. So what we want is a nice even disbursement of mining activity all over the country. Now, what Scott's bringing up here is that these Chinese miners might be dumping their holdings out to bring the price down, which they can weather, right? They've got a lot of processing power. They've got low energy requirements. They might be built next to a dam or in areas where electricity is very cheap. And they're basically trying to drive their competitors out of business. Because if you're running a mining farm and the price of Bitcoin is such that you're not making a profit, then you have to turn your miners off. You know, you're spending more on electricity and rent and lighting and cooling than you're getting back from the Bitcoin that you're earning, right? So they have to shut down their miners. Now, Bitcoin is designed to withstand this sort of thing. When the price goes low and miners shut down, there's less hashing power and the complexity goes down on the entire network and the network adjusts, right? And then the low end miners jump back in as the price of Bitcoin goes back up. But when, even if Bitcoin stays the low price, the network will continue to survive even when the price is low. The mining difficulty goes down, and so the network survives. All right, I know that's complicated, but let me see if there's any questions specifically, and then we'll move a little crypto around. Let's see. Greetings from Rotterdam. Rob, welcome. Labic72 Hot from Italy. Nice to have you. Grand Illusion, good morning. Taurus Drawn. Should have known it was a scam when they said they accept EOS. Interesting. I'm not a big fan of EOS, as you guys know. EKS, good morning from California. 1 billion Bitcoin, huge move. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, there's huge amounts of Bitcoin and Tether. Maybe I'll throw up that little Tether. There's a lot of stuff bubbling under the surface here. Rob has a question. Added link and BAT account to my ledger. They seem to have the same wallet address. Is this right? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Yes. Any ERC20 token that you add into an Ethereum address, and you can have multiple Ethereum addresses in Ledger Live if you want to. I tend to, as you can see, I got another one over here, right? That's on the another a device. Actually, you can manage multiple devices. But then down here, I believe this Ethereum account has, well, it had some tokens in it. But all of the tokens that if they're ERC20 tokens, and the two that you mentioned are Link and BAT, and I believe I have both of those too. They're all being held in the same Ethereum wallet, right? So they would all have the exact same address, which is the address of my Ethereum wallet. You know what? My Daedalus testnet flaked out. I'm going to try to launch it again here. I'd like to show you some of this Daedalus reward stuff. I'll move it over here. It didn't connect. But yes, that is fine. They're all within the main Ethereum address. So let's do an Ethereum. Okay. All right. Let's get into it, right? I can't see my... Okay, now I can see what I'm doing here. All right. Okay. All right, so... There we go. All right. So I'm going to enter the Ethereum app on my device. My device is connected to the computer with a cable, right? All right, and I'm doing a receive. So basically, it's just going to display the address that of my device, right? And it's asking me to verify the address. See that little arrow wants me to move over to the next screen by pressing the button. There it is, 06F56D, blah, 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 blah. 5525F, right? That is the Ethereum address of the wallet, right? The Ethereum wallet. Now, let's look at the BAT. All right, what's the address of the BAT? Let's hit receive. We'll do the same thing. We'll stay here. All right, as you can see, it's the exact same address, right? Because it's a sub token of the Ethereum wallet, right? Exact same address. All right. All right, and then we can go back. How do you go back? This, I guess. Right. Here's my chain link. Right? Let's do a receive on that. Now you'll notice that I'm staying in the Ethereum wallet on my device this whole time. I don't need to move to a different app, right? They all utilize the Ethereum address or Ethereum app, right? And there we go, same address, right? Good question, easy answer, right? All those coins are ERC20. They're sub tokens of the Ethereum blockchain. And so they're all have the same address. That is correct. Now, Bitcoin wallet in Ledger generates a new address every time you send to it for privacy and security. I don't know. I guess Ethereum can't do that. Whatever. Once you get an Ethereum address, it'll always be the same sending address. I'm not sure why that is. But it is. All right, I'm going to turn this little camera off here a second. Let's see here. I want to check. Okay. All right, so let's see. Okay, I answered Rob's question. What is my favorite coin? That's a good question. Well, I mean, I would have to say Bitcoin. Just it's like an old friend. I started playing around with Bitcoin in 2013. So I know it pretty well. I'm comfortable with it. It's like that old armchair that you got in your living room, the comfy one. So and it's sort of captured the imagination of the world. But second to Bitcoin, I don't know. I guess BAT. I like BAT because of the Brave browser and all of that other good stuff going on with BAT. I like BAT. And it's not even in the top 10, if I recall. I like Monero because Monero is a privacy-based coin. It has a lot of active development. It's kind of like people that are into Monero will say that, stop calling Monero a privacy coin. Start calling all of the other cryptocurrencies surveillance coins. There was a lot of hubbub early on in 2017 about the anonymous nature of Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is not anonymous, as we saw in that story. It can be traced. All of the transactions can be traced. And, with the right tools, you can pinpoint the person. Not always, but I mean, with certain types of analysis, you can see where they are and figure out their identity. But Monero is not like that. Monero has built-in privacy and encryption. So I like Monero. I think it's cool. And none of these are like investment advice choices, right? I'm not saying I like this coin because I think it's going to, go to the moon tomorrow. I'm explaining that I like this coin because of its use case and its features, right? I'm not the investment guy. You might want to check Crypto Bitcoin Chris or XRP Agent if you're looking for that hot coin of the moment. Good friends of mine. I don't have their. I'm not sure. I think I've got Crypto Bitcoin Chris's YouTube channel in my. If you look in there, I think it's in there. Maybe not. I'm bullish on IXR, Chainlink, XRP, and VChain. Okay, those are some interesting coins. Why don't they need a banking license for staking? Good question. Very good question. Now, if we're talking about a cryptocurrency that you're staking your coin with, they do have like bit licenses and that sort of thing. If they're based in the US, they've got like a license to operate as a Bitcoin cryptocurrency exchange. Now, the thing about paying interest, I don't know if that is a requirement, requires a banking permit, just paying interest on a coin, right? But these built-in coins, and there we go. Like this, here's our Daedalus rewards wallet. These built-in rewards are decentralized, right? And because I can withdraw my ADA at any time and stop delegating, then it really isn't, they're not really holding it. So I don't know if banking regulations would apply here. We're in a brave new world, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so you can see here that I've got this ADA is delegated to the Epic Stake pool, right? And I can unstake or switch pools at any time. So, and then there's lots of stake pools out there that are, I think they're ranked by return rate, but I'm not sure. But you can check any of them and just go to their website, you know, and check out what these stake pools are all about. Do your research, decide, you know, which one you think is the best for you, the best rate of return, the best uptime, you know, the best history. Now, they're fairly new, so history doesn't come into it that much. And then rewards. Hey, look at that. I got 15 ADA already since I started staking. So, pretty cool. Let me see here. I don't see shopping rewards. I don't see any ADA that came in. That's earlier. I guess it hasn't actually moved to my wallet yet. I'm not sure how we're going to claim these rewards, but I heard that you'll have to take this rewards wallet and import the 15-word recovery phrase into your regular Daedalus wallet to claim that ADA. And that's just 15 ADA. I'm not going to run out and do it right now. But over time, you could start to earn some serious return. And who knows, you know, ADA's only worth about 3 cents, so 15 ADA isn't that much. But let's say ADA goes back to its 2017 rate, which was $1, right? So that would be $15. So, you know, not only are you you're looking towards the price of the coin to go up, you're also earning additional percentage rewards on top of that. And when and if the price does go up, then those rewards will multiply. So cool beans. It's baking. Diff than staking. It's baking. Banking and baking. Ooh, sorry. All right, where are we here? Sorry, I lost what I was doing here. All right, I wish you go through the process of buying Paxos Gold token and Digi Gold token, how to use your Ledger X to buy this token. Okay, you know, let's just see if it is even supported. It might be, it might not be. Let's go over here. Let's check it out. Paxo. Okay. All right, and it looks like it's supported directly. In my Ether. Oh, well, no, you can. It's a ERC20 token. Yeah, you can just buy it on an exchange and drop it into your Ethereum wallet. So I have some videos on how you buy ERC20 tokens and put them in your ledger. So that might, you know, instead of doing a specific Paxos video, let's see here, YouTube Studio, let's do ERC20, I think. All right, well, this one is the most recent. Yeah. So you might want to check out this video because it explains how you store an ERC20 token in your ledger. And I think that in the video, I probably use link or something like that. So Paxos would be the same. Most people ain't going to become millionaires with Bitcoin nowadays. Yes, it's a good investment, but I've seen some context creators who keep pushing it. Yeah, Bitcoin, a lot of, there's opinions on both sides, but there is the opinion that it's too late to become a millionaire with Bitcoin. And, that's a sound argument because Bitcoin is already pretty high. So even if you managed to buy one Bitcoin, if that Bitcoin were to go to 1 million in a few years, that would require a $7,000 investment or $7,200 by today's price. So a lot of people, that might be out of reach for a lot of people. But if you remember, there was a CNN article. Let me see if I can find it. I should have put this one in the list of... Okay, here it is. The best investment of the decade turned $1 into 90 grand, right? So the CNN article talks about Bitcoin being the best investment of the entire decade. If you'd have bought $1's worth of Bitcoin in 2010, right, the beginning of this decade, it would be worth $90,000 now. So that's pretty amazing. And that beat everything else for the decade, right? That beat stocks, bonds, gold, silver, whatever commodity you can name, or stock or index fund or whatever you want to call it. Bitcoin is the investment of the decade. That's pretty amazing. Now, so is it going to make us rich? Maybe. But it would have made us rich if we could go back in time. So that's one argument. But then there's another argument. A lot of people say that get whatever you can, squirrel it away, stack sats, because Bitcoin will be worth a lot someday. And no matter what you can afford to buy, it's going to be, it's going to be good for you in the future. Whether you'll cash out of the Bitcoin, or you'll be able to spend it for whatever down the road. It's a good thing to have and hold, right? So arguments on both sides of that. Adam, what's your feeling towards the future of XRP going forward? I don't know what XRP is going to do. I can't really say, but I would venture to guess, and this is just my opinion, that it will go back up. I mean, we're looking at we can't really call it its all-time low, but let's see here. Yeah. I mean, coin market or market cap wise, here we go, number 3, right? It's no slouch, but it's at a pretty low price right now. I mean, if we look at the let's do the 3-month chart of XRP. Right, here we were 30 cents. Now we're down to 20 cents. Let's look at the all-time chart. Oops, that needs to be stretched out. What happened there? Okay, there we go. All right, so in 17, we had Ripple up at what? Whoops. Can't get it up there. 338, right? All-time high, December of 2017. So all it really needs to do is get back to its previous high to really give someone that buys some today a great return, right? Now, I got out of it back in 2017 because I heard that it wasn't a true cryptocurrency. It's not really decentralized. It's controlled by one company. It uses blockchain technology, but it's not a pure cryptocurrency in that sense. It's also, its business model is geared towards banks. It's trying to supplant the SWIFT system for international money transfers and regular money transfers. And the idea is sound, right? The SWIFT banking system is antiquated, complicated, and lengthy, right? If you've ever tried to send money to someone in a different country, you'll understand. It can take a while, and there's all kinds of fees that you have to pay on top. So they have a good plan, right? They want to replace the SWIFT system, but it's not, like I said, it's not a pure decentralized cryptocurrency in that sense. Yeah. When you delegate ADA, can you also cancel and redelegate if you find another? Yes, you can. I showed you that a few minutes ago. I might have already answered that question, but if we look at the delegation screen here, I can click on this and undelegate at any time I want, and change stake pool anytime I want. Full control. Rex, what do you think about Holo Chain? I don't know that much about Holo Chain. Yeah, I don't know much about these small coins. You know, if you look at it, it's been around a while. That's good. May of 18, not a long time. It was up high. It's hard for me to judge in that sense. You know, it's all I can say is it's cheap right now. So, you know, go out and buy yourself 10 million of them, if you can afford it. You know, or 10,000 of them. Might multiply quite a lot, but you know, at this price point, it's looking, but it's 44 in market cap. That's not bad. All right. So, but I can't make a final judgment on that. The majority of you ain't go. Oh wait, we already got that. They're the great investments. So spread your investments, variety of things. Cougar Killer is telling us to diversify. Good advice. That being said, I do appreciate CryptoDad's information, as he is successful and knows how to utilize his BC, etc. Thank you, Cougar Killer. That's very nice of you. How can I print my Ledger Nano X private keys to paper? No, you can't. That's a good question. But the private keys are stored in the ledger. They keep them safe for you. You can't see them, right? There is a way to do it, though. But it's not for the faint of heart. Oops. Your BIP39 tool. And like I said, this is complicated and risky. Is this it? Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is Ian Coleman's BIP39 tool. Now you could take your 24-word recovery phrase of your Ledger Nano and write it in there, right? But you don't want to do this online, right? You don't want to do this while you're connected to the internet. So there's some instructions here on offline usage, right? You would want to download this and run it locally, right? Not connected to the internet. But you can do this. It's all math, right? So what'll happen is once you generate your, brick, chip, whatever your 24-word recovery phrase. Chip. It even knows the words that are not in the BIP39 protocol word list. That's pretty cool. Failsafe. Good. All right, so I'm not done yet, but if I were to get done, right, I could say Bitcoin. Now, it's only going to show me my Bitcoin, and it would spit out the private key for the Bitcoin. Like I said, a little risky. What you really want to do is just write down your Ledger 24-word recovery phrase and keep that in a safe place. That is effectively your private key. You don't really need to see the number. Let me see if I can explain that a little more. All right, so if we go to the BIP39 spec. I'm sorry. It would be in mastering Bitcoin. You guys that have been in this before, I've shown this to you Right. That's the GitHub. This is a free to view book. All right. When we look at how wallets are created, and the ledger has its own way, but it uses this protocol. The wallet is created by generating this master private key. And then that master private key is like split into chunks and mapped to this list of words, right? And those list of words are for us, right? It's easy for me to write down 24 words. This is 12 in this case. Much easier than to try to write down a 128-bit number, right? That's going to be very tedious and prone to mistakes. But I can write down these words. Now these words are then used, like take these words, combine it with a salt, put it through some more mathematical functions, and here you get your master seed key. Now, why would I want to store this master seed key and, meticulously writing it down or placing it on my computer in digital format, which is also risky, when I could simply keep these 24 words in a safe place? That is basically the private key can be derived from that at any time, even into different wallets. So there's really no need to actually see the private key. The private key is basically contained in these in your backup word phrase. So that would be the way to write it down and store it somewhere safe. I don't need to worry anymore. Okay, good. Calgapo, hello. Alice A, welcome. Grand Illusion, favorite coin Theta, cool. BAT has serious use case. Yes, I like BAT. Litecoin, la 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 la. Alice A, crypto charges to buy stable coins with your fiat wallet, LOL. Thanks. Okay. Alice A, do you believe that crypto can concentrate even more wealth in the hands of the rich? There are millions that don't have access to the internet, let alone purchasing cryptos. Thoughts? Well, that's a good question. The idea of crypto is to democratize, so to speak. We throw that word democracy around quite a bit. There are those that say that the United States isn't a true democracy. And technically it's not. It's a republic. But I mean, when we talk about democracy and freedom, we're not quite there yet. But anyway, this whole money system thing, if Bitcoin is operating in its purest sense, its decentralized sense, where there's no one at the top controlling it, then I would say that it could be it could go against the centralization of wealth by the wealthy and the elite, right? And you say there's not a lot of people out there with internet access, and that's true. But you'd be surprised at how many people in third world countries have phones, smartphones that can store Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That's a lot of people, maybe more than you think. Now, I agree there are a lot of people out there that are, subsistence farmers or whatever you want to call them that have no connection to technology at all. And those people obviously would be left out of this, this non-banking type wealth. But the other side of that coin is that a lot of these large banks and a lot of these large trading firms backed, a very good example, BAKKT backed, that are offering all of these Bitcoin-based funds, right? They're accumulating Bitcoin, right, for large investors. So they're becoming like Bitcoin banks. Not so much that they're not going to be able to control the blockchain. The miners do that. But they might accumulate so much Bitcoin that they hold the lion's share of the Bitcoin, and they'll sort of be the gatekeepers of the Bitcoin. That's a real possibility, and I think that's the aim of a lot of these big companies. They're bashing Bitcoin now, but they're quietly buying it up. JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, a lot of these banks are getting into crypto custody because they want to hold it, right? That's how they do it with money now, right? So they might end up with fractional reserve Bitcoin lending at some point. They might say, okay, I'm going to lend you, 10 Bitcoin so you can start your own business. And it'll be like, it might show up in your phone as Bitcoin that you have control over, own, sort of, but they'll hold the private keys, right? And they might create Bitcoin out of thin air by virtue of the fact that they have a lot of Bitcoin in their custody. So that might be a real problem. There might be like these shadow Bitcoin created by these banks, just the way they do with cash now. But hopefully it will stay pure the way it is, and people will realize that if you really want to hold Bitcoin, you need to hold it in your own wallet. Don't hold it on exchanges. Don't go to your bank, with your 10 grand in your IRA and say, buy Bitcoin for me, because they're just holding it for you. It's not your Bitcoin. They're just holding it for you. And if the bank goes under tomorrow and they close their doors and their ATMs stop working, then your Bitcoin is not it will become painfully clear to you that it is not your Bitcoin. But if the banks go under tomorrow, if one big bank goes down tomorrow, I've still got Bitcoin. Now, if the whole system collapses and we have no electricity, well, that's that. Whether or not we still control our Bitcoin will be the least of our problems. Adding privacy to Bitcoin could really be the next boost. Yes, that would be cool. Thinking about the offshore accounts of the rich, just my opinion. BTC Core developers busy with privacy. Yeah, everybody wants privacy. They try to give privacy a bad name and say that it's money launderers and drug lords and child molesters and all that are the ones that want, financial privacy. But the fact of the matter is, not only do you and I want financial privacy, the very, very rich and the wealthy also want financial privacy, right? They don't really want anyone being able to see how much money they own. Look at Donald Trump. I mean, I'm with the guy, right? He's getting attacked from all sides because he says what he thinks. That's simple. I'm not going to go into his politics and all that. There's so many nuances to all of this. But here's a guy who is refusing to release his tax returns and has done so for many years, ever since he was running for president. And this was usually a big, this was like every presidential candidate before him released his tax returns so that everyone could see their tax returns. Now, we don't even know if that was the full accounting of their quote-unquote wealth. But Donald Trump's a little different. He's like, I don't want you to see my tax returns. And so he's locked in a battle with the courts to keep his finances private. And as well he should. He's a guy. Why can't he have financial privacy? He's president already. What difference does it make now? I get it, right? So we all want financial privacy. We're all fighting for financial privacy. And if Bitcoin can add some privacy features, maybe it will, stir more adoption. That's a very good point. Yeah, we would like less involvement in Bitcoin. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show Cougar Killer. It got YouTube blocked it because he said crap, I guess, but nothing out there. So yeah, we talked about the PlusCoin scam at the beginning, and I've done a video on how to spot cryptocurrency scams. There's a lot of them out there. Not every cryptocurrency scam involves a crap coin, right? A lot of cryptocurrency scams, they'll just mention the word cryptocurrency, but it's basically your run-of-the-mill Ponzi scheme. They're just using the word cryptocurrency to sort of suck people in. I wouldn't really call that a cryptocurrency scam. I would just call that a regular scam. But there are other scams that do involve cryptocurrency, like the BitConnect thing, where they're asking you to buy their coin, right? And then after you buy their coin, they want you to lend it to them and they'll pay you interest. That kind of Those are, and then there's the, and then PlusCoin was the same deal, right? Use our coin and we'll pay you interest. Now, there are a lot of legitimate businesses and exchanges out there that are paying you interest on your Bitcoin. So if you want to store your Bitcoin in, say, crypto.com, you can, and they'll pay you interest on it. While we're on that subject, why don't we move some crypto around? Let's, whoops, my phone's going nuts there. All right. We were talking about ERC20 tokens and Ethereum earlier, so why don't we, let me get this out of the way. Why don't we receive some Ethereum? I'm still in the app if I recall. All right, we're going to do this business again. All right. Trying to get that. All right, the application is ready. All right, we'll hit continue. Oops, over there. Hitting the virtual continue. All right, now it wants me to verify. This is the fail-safe on your Ledger device. All right, there's the Ethereum address. I'm just going to confirm that that's the same one I see on my screen. All right. Now, I have an Ethereum address and I want to send some Ethereum to that address. So how do we move cryptocurrency? Well, I'm going to use the Crypto.com app to demonstrate this because it's a good phone-based app. So we go into Crypto.com. And I invite you to check out my Crypto.com link below. If you open an account and stake yourself to get one of their MCO Visa cards, you'll get $50 and I'll get $50. And then if you recommend it to your friends and they do the same, they'll make 50 and you'll make 50. It's sort of like that Ponzi scheme we were talking about. But this is a legitimate company, right? I've been working with them for a while now, and they got all kinds of cool features, right? So here we are. We got this phone-based cryptocurrency exchange, and I've got some Ethereum in here, right? So let's withdraw the Ethereum. So I'm going to tap Ethereum, right? And then I'm going to tap transfer, and I want to withdraw my ETH, right? And I don't know if I've ever... Yes, I have. So I could, if I want to, add and then scan. If I can get this to work. Yeah, I could scan the QR code there. But I don't need to because I already have it in my whitelist of previous addresses that I've sent to. Right? So you can see down there at the bottom it says Ledger. So I can send the ETH to that Ledger address. So we'll hit Send ETH. Right, and then I'm going to tap in the edit field to edit the amount of ETH, and then down below the send button there's my max, right? So I can go ahead and send the max amount of Ethereum, and then I'll hit the send button, right? And then I'll confirm that, and then it's going to want my two-factor authentication. You guys, please add two-factor authentication any way you can to any account that you can. There's more. There was another article about a guy that was scamming people off by taking over their phones because they didn't have two-factor. And once he got their phone number, he was able to get into all of their accounts by resetting all their passwords. That cannot happen if you're running two-factor authentication, right? So let's go to our Google Authenticator. I'm going to tap that, copy it into my clipboard. I'm going to paste. And I'm going to continue, and the Ethereum is going to get sent. All right. So the Ethereum goes to 0, and I've just withdrawn it from my Crypto.com account. Now, Crypto.com is a hot wallet, right? I don't really control the private keys. I don't mind leaving it in there, and for most cases, because I trust them, and I like to trade. So, but I got this. I bought some Ethereum earlier in the week, and I thought to myself, why don't I'd like to move it into my Ledger wallet, but I'll wait for the live stream and do it live. They can show you guys how to do it, right? So that was an easy peasy way of just moving some Ethereum from an exchange to my own wallet, right? Same with that gold we were talking about earlier before. I forget what it was. But if you had it in an exchange, same process, right? You just send it to the destination address of your own wallet. You guys have seen me do this ad nauseum, right? But it's always good to practice, right? Keep in practice. All right, so let me respond. I'm going to respond to a text. Hang on just a sec. Hi, Shayla. In the middle of the live stream at the moment, period. You might want to jump on YouTube and check it out. Period. I'm not sure I'll have time today, but we can talk after 12 p.m. All right. Okay, so why don't we just hang out a little bit and wait for that to come in? It should just show up in the Ethereum wallet, right? Right, there's the ETH. Oh, it's actually going to show up down here below, right? Because there's Ethereum tokens. I guess there's no way to close that. All right, why is it paused? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so what we'll see there, that should go to 3.4. But it might not happen right away. Exchanges are funny. Sometimes you get the crypto right away. Other times it takes longer. But we'll keep an eye on that. All right, and that was one that I wanted to move. I'm not sure if I really want to move the Ripple, but you guys could see that I had some Ripple. Whoops. Whoops. Where were we? Oh, yeah, crypto.com. So there's some Ripple in there. I could withdraw that. I've got Cardano, but I'm just going to leave those in there. And then you can see that MCO Visa card down there. I can sell Bitcoin immediately and top up that card in a heartbeat, and then run down to the 7-Eleven and buy a 6-pack. Easy. Real good, fast, reliable way to just cash out of your crypto. I buy more crypto than I really need or should, and my mindset is, okay, well, if I need to spend some later, I can always just withdraw it. I can liquidate, and yeah, maybe sometimes I liquidate at a loss, but that's a tax write-off, right? So or it may be at break even. But either way, it's money that I had in my hand. Like say it's $100. I threw it into crypto.com, or I bought it in Bitcoin and stored it in my ledger. I can easily move from my ledger to crypto.com in a heartbeat, maybe a few minutes. Then I can immediately top up the card and go spend, right? Anywhere that accepts Visa or cash out at an ATM. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. All right, let's see where people are here. Whoops. Whoops. All right. Oh, what was I gonna... There was one. We did the CNN thing. Phone scam. I don't know if I can find this story. What do you call that? Phone scam New York. I'm just gonna see if there it is. Okay, Brooklyn teen accused of swiping more than $1 million from dozens of victims in cryptocurrency scam. That's a little bit of a misnomer. He did manage to steal some cryptocurrency, but it was only from 2 of the clients that he scammed. This is basically a phone scam. More than anything, it doesn't really involve... He managed to get some cryptocurrency out of it. But really what he did was he was phone scamming. He was taking over people's phone numbers. And the way he was doing it, not exactly sure how he was... But most likely he was social engineering. Him or his friends would call the phone company, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, Cricket, whoever, right? And claim to be the owner of a phone number that, oh, I'm moving or whatever. They got their story down, right? And they convince these people at the phone company to forward the number, right? And then as soon as they get the number forwarded, they use that phone number. I don't know how they get the email, but somehow they social engineer all the information that they need from the target, right? That person's email is probably on record at some of these places. So once they've got the email and the phone, they log into the Gmail account. They say, "Ooh, I forgot my password," and Gmail will send them a text and say, "Is this really you?" And now that they've got the phone, they get the text code and they're able to reset the password on the Gmail account. And then from there, they move on to all of the cryptocurrency accounts, right? The Coinbase or whatever. And they log into Coinbase with that email address and they say, "Ooh, I forgot my password." And then Coinbase sends them, a password reset to that email, right? And all of that is possible because none of these accounts had two-factor authentication, right? Two-factor authentication on the Gmail account would have stopped that guy in his tracks from, step 2, right? Two-factor authentication on the Coinbase account would have stopped the guy at step 3. And two-factor authentication on the phone account would have stopped the guy at step 1, right? So if you don't have a PIN code set on your phone account, you should do that right away, which says to the company, do not to do anything unless when I call, I can give you my PIN code, right? If an attacker calls my phone carrier and says, "Hey, my name is Rex and I moved and I need to port my phone number somewhere," they would say, "No problem, Mr. Knisely. Can you provide your PIN code to me?" And the attacker would hang up and try the next idiot that doesn't have a PIN code on their phone, right? So I don't mean to call anybody an idiot. I'm just saying, you guys, if you're regular viewers, put two-factor authentication on everything you possibly can. Any email account you've got, any phone account that you've got, any cryptocurrency exchange account that you've got, it will stop these hackers in their tracks cold. All right? So, lessons, life lessons. All right, so T. Gyong is talking a little bit about metal devices for holding your 24-word recovery phrases. I've done several videos on some really great products that do just that. So let's see, the last one and the one that I think is cool. Here we go. The Kobo Tablet is a metal tablet with like metal letters and numbers that you can use to store your 24-word recovery phrase. I recommend that video. Another one that I think is really cool is Crypto Steel. And I did this video. I thought this was so cool, and it's like a cylinder that holds your letters like on this post. And it's just so cool. And I thought it was so cool that I called them and said, "Hey, my name's CryptoDad. I want to do a review of your product. Would you mind sending one to me?" And they were nice enough to do. They sent it to me, and they were very nice people. Extremely nice. And then there's another one that I've got. May not be able to find it. Crypto Steel, not that. Yeah, the Elipal. Elipal has the same kind of thing. What do they call it? Mnemonic metal. So another cool way to store your 24-word or 12-word recovery phrase. You guys know I was talking earlier about that the private key is contained in those words. So you definitely want them not only in a safe place, but, fireproof, waterproof, shockproof, all that good stuff, right? Hide it in your wall, bore a hole in your, your car fender, whatever, keep it in a safe place under the radar, right? You don't want it in your safe because anybody that breaks into your house is going to want whatever you got in your safe. You know, stick it in your fridge, whatever, inside the milk. They'll never know, right? Oh. All right. Fireproof. Good morning, Syed. Jim Musselwhite. What are your thoughts from HBAR, Hedra Hashgraph? I have to say I haven't heard of that. So I can't. We're running short on time. I don't have time to like do the research on that coin. But I've never heard of it. That's all I can say at the moment. Titanium plate was for private key. That is incorrect. Okay. I don't like backed at all. All right. Whoops. Oh, there's me. Canadian Prepper on YouTube. Let's see. The Apocalypse. They don't want the common man or woman to own it. Cougar Killer is quite an outspoken advocate of prepping and survivalism and decentralization and all that anti-establishment stuff that we love to talk about here on my channel and cryptocurrency circles in general. Let's see. Alice A., thanks for your answer. I noticed an increase of very rich people and even very rich companies trying to buy as much BTC as they can. I wonder how this will affect the crypto space. I'm hoping, well, if big companies are accumulating Bitcoin on a grand scale, then the supply will shrink and they will drive the price up in the long run, right? But like I said, it might also have the effect of, you know, they'll be the gatekeepers for people that can't get their hands on any, right? But the nice thing about Bitcoin is it's dividable. You can buy it in Satoshis, right? So if you watch Crypto Lark, he'll say that you can buy a million Satoshis for $70 or whatever it is, right? You can run out for 700 or whatever. It's cheap, right? I think it's $70. You can buy a million Satoshis for $70. Bitcoin is dividable way down to the millionth of the Bitcoin, I think, which is cool, right? So even if the price of Bitcoin becomes astronomical, you'll still be able to buy Satoshis at a reasonable rate. And God, who knows, you know, maybe there'll come a time where Satoshis are the go-to unit of measurements, like a dollar. You know, right now a Satoshi is worth so much, not much, right? How much is a Satoshi? How much is a Satoshi worth? How much is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is equal to 0.0000 Bitcoin. All right, so let's take that. All right. And let's go over to, oops, let's go here. Whoops. All right, let's go to BTC at CoinGecko. Let's paste in that Satoshi. Whoops. Right, and then hit tab, and there we go. It's not even close to a penny. You know, it's way below a penny. But there may be a day where the Satoshi is, you know, the head of lettuce is, you know, 2 Satoshis or whatever. Who knows? Stranger things have happened, right? So even if the big guys hoard it, there still be a market for what's left over, right? You'll still be able to buy Bitcoin and use it, right? Okay, Jurgen. I'm sorry if I miss anybody's question today. Jurgen, if I know the 128-bit private number from my ledger, can I use it in another wallet, such as Ellipal, as backup as security? Ledger had to go offline, or vice versa. Yes, the master private key of the ledger is used to generate your Bitcoin wallet. But and I showed you the BIP39 tool where you could derive your private key. You could use that private key and sweep it into a different wallet. In fact, I think there's some other wallets out there that use 24-word recovery phrases. Although I know that Elipal uses a 12-word. So I don't think the 24-word is compatible with Elipal. It might be. But that is a good way of sort of hedging your bet if you're worried about Ledger being non-functional. But like I said, the 24-word recovery phrase can be used to recover wallets, recover coins into different wallets, but maybe not directly, right? You might have to go through a little bit of finagling to get the 24-word recovery phrase. But like I said, if you could get the private key of your Bitcoin and somehow sweep that into Elipal, Elipal would give you a brand new 12-word recovery phrase that you could put somewhere, right? So it's possible. Not a bad suggestion, right? You want to kind of hedge your bet. But basically, having the 24-word recovery phrase is your ultimate backup. You may not need to like realize it specifically, right? You may not have to actually put it into an Elipal to keep it. You might just hang on to the 24-word recovery phrase. If Ledger goes out of business, there might be somewhere else that you can import it into. So the 24-word recovery phrase is your main, squeeze. Deriving the Bitcoin private key from that 24-word recovery phrase is a bit risky, but it can be done. But I'm not too sure how multiple Bitcoin wallets work, because you can have multiple Bitcoin wallets in a ledger. Like my Ledger X probably has 10 different Bitcoin addresses in it. I'm not sure how I would extract all of those. But like I said, there are other wallets that are compatible with 24-word recovery phrases. I have to do some more research on that. Thanks for your help. How high do you think Ethereum will go in 2020? I would like to see it get back to its original all-time high, which was like 1,300. That would be great. I don't know if that's going to happen in 2020, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, right? It's been there before. So Ethereum has a lot of upside potential. It's a way undervalued coin. That's just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. But, in my opinion, almost all of the coins that are out there are undervalued, especially the top 20. I mean, if you look at the top 20 coins on coinmarket.cap and you look at their today's value compared to where those 20 coins were in 2017, they're way undervalued, right? Now, people might argue that 2017 was a bubble and we'll never see it again, but I differ with that. I have a feeling that we will see those levels again. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but that's my belief and opinion, by the way. Don't run to the bank and mortgage your house on that. But I believe that the cryptocurrencies will revisit their highs. Maybe not all of them, right? Maybe some of them fell by the wayside that were high in 2017 that are like way down on the lower rungs of the ladder. But these top 20, and Tether will always be the value of $1. Yeah. All right. Is there a way to control the fees when sending BTC to your ledger? I think it was $100 for one BTC depending on where you're sending it from, Rob. Now, I believe that, let's just, for the sake of argument, if you're sending it out from your ledger, you do have some options, I believe. Let's go into Bitcoin real quick here. Oops, wrong side here. I'm in Ethereum. I need to get, I need to get out. Let's get out. Out, I tell you, out. Okay. Someone was thanking me for something good I did. I like that. All right. All right, let's go over to Bitcoin. Sorry if you guys can't see this. It's not very clear. All right, and let's just pretend that I want to send some Bitcoin out, right? Just pretend. All right, so here we go. We got this little Bitcoin address here where I've got some Bitcoin. Let's do a send. Now, I'm going to need a Bitcoin address, which I don't have handy. I'm going to use crypto.com just to give I'm not actually going to send it. So, but I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, so I can use the Bitcoin here. I'm going to do transfer, and I'm going to do receive, right? There's their Bitcoin address. I'll just share that address with my computer so that I can paste it into my ledger. All right. Just so I'll have an address, because I can't move forward unless I have an address. All right. There, the email just came in. All right. All right. There's the Bitcoin address. Now, that was if I might be sending it to crypto.com, but I'm not. I'm just going to demonstrate that you can adjust the mining fees. All right, so we'll paste that in there. We'll hit continue. Right, and we'll just pretend that I'm going to send them the amount. Right, now here is where I have my choice of how much I want for my mining fee. You don't have to include any mining fee, right? It could be zero, right? If you wanted it to be zero, right? But the transaction will most likely never be, oh, I guess it's here, right? You could make that zero, right? Oh, it says fees are required. Pardon me, there are some wallets that will let you send with no fee, but you have a very low chance of it actually ever getting mined, right? So the higher the fee, the more chance there is of it getting mined in the next block, right? Now, if you choose standard, then your fees are lower, but it might not be quite as fast. So if you're like in a hurry, you might want to do high, right? And if you don't care at all, you can wait days. Use low. It might not get mined right away, but it will probably eventually get mined and make it to its destination. So yes, you can adjust your fees. Now, coming from the exchange, I don't think there's any way to adjust the mining fees, right? They're using their own wallets, so I don't think you have any control over how they do. And plus, they hit you with their own fees, right? They have withdrawal fees from the exchanges. But then you're also getting blockchain fees but a lot of times they absorb their own blockchain fees by charging you the withdrawal fee. And a lot of times their blockchain fees are really low because they're like huge wallets. They have some advantages, right? So that's how that goes. There's really no way to adjust it on the exchange end. Now, there are ways you can mitigate withdrawal fees. Like on Binance, you can use BNB coin, but those are trading fees. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to mitigate the. Now, if you're like one of their top tier guys, like they may have different tiers of customer, where if you're like do a certain amount of business with them, they give you lower withdrawal fees, that kind of thing. So there's always that sort of thing. You'd have to shop around to different exchanges. Let's look. What were we waiting for? Some Ethereum? Still not here, but I'm not going to panic, right? I know it will be here sooner or later. But I haven't got anything from crypto.com saying that it's gone out yet, right? Yeah. If like you're going nuts, you can look in like every exchange has a way to check that something that you've withdrawn. So I can go to I have to go over to wallet, and then go to Aetherium. Let me get all this other stuff out of the way. And of course it's being finicky. Right? We can go to Aetherium, and then you can look down below here and see that I have a pending withdrawal. So yeah, it's pending, and yeah, I wish I had it right now, but at least I know, they know that I did that. I can verify that I actually did it, right? That's gonna eliminate my screw up. Like maybe I didn't actually get it withdrawn. Maybe I got halfway through the process and I forgot to hit that last confirmation or whatever, and it never actually got withdrawn. But I can go and check here, and I can see that it's pending, right? So I know that I did what I needed to do, and I just need to be patient. Every cryptocurrency exchange has a way to check like pending withdrawals, so that you can verify for yourself that it did in fact get withdrawn and it's on its way to you eventually, right? May not be as fast as you like, but sometimes these things take time. All right, I'm gonna have to start wrapping up, guys. We got a big weekend ahead of us. Let me just shout out to the last few people that are in here. Do I still need to buy Bitcoin on Binance US to get VE Chain? I thought I was able to get VE Chain directly with US dollars. I think Binance US has a US dollar trading pair for VE Chain, if I'm not mistaken. And that'll be the last thing I'll do. I'll just log in to Binance US so you guys can, whoops, wrong browser. Oh, that's the right browser. Okay. Crypto exchange. Huh, where'd my Binance US go? Okay. That's weird. All right. All right, so we'll log into our Binance US account, and okay, please. Ah, come on, Rex. Jeez. Probably not going to get that. Okay, I did it. Whoa, look at me. Hooray. Okay. That's my password manager. I had to put in my master password. Now, in order to get logged into my Binance US account, I need my two-factor authentication. So please, please, please use two-factor authentication whenever you can. All right, there's not much in here, but let's go over here to wallet. They have VET, right? And we can trade for US dollars. Oh, no, they don't have US dollars. The only one they have is Tether, right? So you would have to deposit US dollars into your Binance US account, and then you would have to go buy some US Tether. And you can buy US Tether. Huh, well, that's weird. Okay. Haha. So you can't even buy US Tether with US dollars on Binance US. You would have to deposit 100 US dollars, buy your Bitcoin with US dollar, right? Then you have Bitcoin, and then you could buy US Tether with your Bitcoin. And then once you had your US Tether, you could buy your VET. Kind of weird. That's weird how they only let you buy VET with US Tether. I don't know, maybe Binance proper would be easier. You might be able to just trade it directly for Bitcoin. There are, since it's an ERC20 token, there are decentralized Ethereum trading platforms where you could buy it directly from Ethereum, like Ether Fork. It's not Ether Fork, no. Fork Delta. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Can't get in there. Anyway, you could use decentralized Ethereum markets for VET. You might try Bittrex. Bittrex may be able to. You might be able to buy VET for like Bitcoin directly without having to exchange your coins 2 or 3 times, because you are going to get a little. You're going to get a little haircut on that $100 when you have to buy Bitcoin and then Tether and then VET. Right? I don't know that you can buy VET on Coinbase either. You might want to check that. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm gonna go out to visit family this weekend. Don't forget, the live stream was early this week, but it'll be back to 8 p.m. next week, I think, maybe. I might be out of town next week, too. But I'll figure out a way to keep the content coming for you guys. I really appreciate all the people that showed up today. Look for me next week on Friday. Or just out and about. I might pop in live during the holidays to give you guys updates, and then check for any videos that I post. Always, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. You'll get alerted whenever I post new videos as long as you click that little bell. Remember to give me a thumbs up, and hope to see you guys again soon. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, if I don't see you before then.